Hello everybody and welcome to another Clarity Media puzzle solving video. And the purpose of this series is to solve the puzzles on our website weekly, the website being clarity-media.com, and just show off some of the puzzle types we provide for you online, completely free of charge, updated every day, no adverts. So we have star battles, we have mini Sudokus, we have code words, word searches, all manner of puzzles. This is a star battle. I'm going to have a crack at it now. So first off, what are the rules of Star Battle? One of the rules is not to knock over your microphone. The rules of Star Battle, beg your pardon, are to place 2 stars in every row and column of the grid, as well as in every bold outlined region. So this is a region here. And stars cannot be at all adjacent to each other. So that's horizontally, diagonally, and vertically. So if there were a star here, every single one of these spaces would be incapable of containing a star. So I'll just hop right in. And this one looks fairly difficult. I think it should still be solvable. I'll start with the easiest, always the easiest part. I'll start with the smallest region. So 4 squares here must contain 2 stars. The stars cannot be adjacent, which immediately rules out the center square. Because if a star were there, it would make every other square impossible to contain a star, which means that one has to go here. Now, I don't think we can really work out yet which of these has the star in it, but what we do know is whichever one contains a star has to be adjacent to this square, so that square also gets an X. Then moving into this region, well, we can see, I think we can see that, is it this? Maybe it's just doing a little bit of experimentation. I think that's okay. But I think we can see that the star, 2 stars in this region, 1 star I think has to go in this part, and the other star has to go in this part. I believe that's true. Because if a star goes here, the other star is there. If a star goes here, the other star is in one of these 2. If a star goes here, again it's in one of those 2. If it's here, it's in one of those 2, yeah. So we can basically work out that no matter what, one of these 2 squares must be a star. And that's good, because even though we can't write them in yet, we can say that, well, one of these 2 are a star, so any square adjacent to both of them cannot be a star, which is both of these 4, I should say. Which then means here, if you look, this block of 4 can only possibly contain 1 star, so the other star has to go here, we know for certain, and then this can all be crossed off, leaving the star there. And the other star there, excellent. So you see already making some decent progress. Hopefully we'll be able to work out where this star comes later on. And we can't, so that can't be there, there, or there, so it's star in one of these 2. But we can see there has to be a star in the top row, because 2 stars per row. Has to be a star one of these. Can't be a 3rd star there, so that's also out. That's also out. These stars here, so I can fill all this in. Excellent. I think I'm on track. I'll just maybe have a quick check. Probably shouldn't be doing this, but I don't want to lead you all down the wrong solution for 5 minutes if I have misplaced the star. Solution is not correct, but that's just it's incomplete. There are no red stars, so far this is good. That's good. It's good to know. So now we have to fit 2 stars into this block. I'm not entirely sure initially how to do that, but you can try to find spots which basically can't contain stars and build up your crosses until you know where the star is. So instantly I can see that can't be a star because it can reach every other square in its region. This also can't be a star for exactly the same reason. But where do we go from this? I think, again, subdividing is the way to go. just as I said there has to be a star on one of these two, I'm fairly confident there has to be a star in this vertical column. And the reason I can say that is because if the star is one star is there, the star has to be here. If the star is here, the star has to be there, or there, but still in this vertical column. All columns are vertical in this column. If it's there, the star can be, the star could be there. So maybe I'm jumping the gun a little. Can't quite say for certain it can only be in a vertical column. Can this be a star? Looks like it probably can be. But I'm not sure if this can be a star. Because if it were... Yeah, if this spot were a star, you'd have to... No, that is right. Could fit two in there. You could fit two in there, like so. Although then you'd have to fit two in here, which you couldn't do. Because, yeah, so actually it's a bit going forward a little bit, but if this were a star, the stars have to place this and this, and then that would make this one impossible. So even though it's not maybe the best way to go about solving, we can say this isn't a star. I assume because it's symmetrical, the same applies for this one, right? If this were a star, you would be able to do that and that. Maybe not. I think you could then have... No, because then you'd have to have three in a row, essentially. You'd have that. Would have to be on your stars. That's not possible. So we can also, I think, safely say... What on earth am I clicking? We can also safely say no star is there. That means that isn't possible because it would conflict with every square in the region, and one of these two has to be a star, and one of these three. So is anything adjacent to both of these two? That one is, and that one is. So none of those are possibly stars, which means these could be that and that, or it could be that and that. It's too early to tell at the moment. Let me think the best way to approach this now. Could be two gas, so it has to be only one more star in this region. One more star here, two in this one. And of course, there's this very long thin piece to take into account as well. Now, so we know there are two in this set of four, which means that can't possibly be a star either. So we have to fit two into this set of five. Could this be a star? I think you could still have a star like that. I won't be too hasty. And making a mistake, putting one down can really delay you, so I'll try not to do anything like that. But we know if there's two in this column, that's not possible either. In fact, that wasn't possible anyway. I should have clicked that off. And there has to be one more in this region. One more in this region, and I think we can say it has to be in this block of three. Because if it's there, the star is there. If it's there, the star is in any of these three. And if it's there, the star is again in any of these three. So again, that rule applies of breaking the region down to two regions. We can say there has to be a star in this vertical column, which means there can't be a star in either of these two. And does the same rule hold true here? I think it does, because a star there, yeah, you can see a star there would require a star there, and all the others essentially require a star in this vertical column. So that is also impossible, which means we can rule this one in like that. Okay, that's great. Any columns full yet? I don't think any columns are full, You need one more star in either of these two. One more star in these three. So that has to be a star now because we said one in that region, which means the star is in one of these two squares. No star there because of the column. No stars at all in this column, which makes me think, well, since it has to be two, one has to be in either of these two squares, which means both of these are impossible. One has to be there. And then one star in here. One of these two is a star. Which one? That's the question. One of these two is a star, which means that can't be a star. And since one of these two is a star, those are out of order. I think that is correct, isn't it? Yeah, because we know one of these two is a star, anything adjacent to both is impossible, which means that the star can't. Well, let's think. I think no matter the position, this has to be one of the stars, which is good. You see that's completed the column there, and therefore, no, the final star has to go there. The final star in that region, I should say. Then here, well, this square is adjacent to all three, so that can't be possible, which means these. Oh no, yeah. One of these two, the star is in either of these, essentially. And because of that, that's also not possible. So I hope we're getting somewhere. I feel like we're just on the cusp. There's probably already the information needed to make these deductions. I just am somehow missing it. Maybe you're shouting at your screen. I don't know. But one of these two is a star. Yes. There's one more star here. There's two stars here. There are two stars here. What is the final piece of the puzzle? I think there is. We're very close to finishing it. We know both of these. One star, one star, one star. So currently it could be either of them. If it were that one, it would obviously force that one there. We don't want to use too much trial and error. It's a slightly sloppy way to solve, and you shouldn't really have to rely on it. Okay, well, there we go. I said the piece of information was right there. I hadn't seen it. What it is that there's two blank squares and no stars at all. So both of these have to be stars. That can all be filled in, which means this can be filled in, which means that 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 can be filled in. And then lastly, which of these two is it? Well, not that, which means it has to be that, which means it has to be that. There we go. So you see how just having that final piece of information can lead to an absolutely satisfying cascade solve of the puzzle. And the final thing to do is click check solution, see if I've got it right. Correct solution, so amazing. Had a bit of a rocky start. I did rely a little bit on trial and error, which isn't really the way to go. I think had I focused and really thought about it, I probably could have found another way around, but it might have been a bit slower, even more slow, perhaps. But we made it into the puzzle. There'll be a new star out every day, so by the time this video is uploaded, you'll be able to find a completely new one for you to try yourself against. Thanks for watching. Please check out all the videos, like, subscribe, and go to the website. Thank you.